So I haven't really talked about this much. This is fencing that we ordered, and we are refencing the entire farm. It's about 3 miles worth of fencing materials, and then we're gonna do an interior fencing grid. So it's just arrived. Very exciting. So here's our big project I haven't really gone into, and it is we are refencing the entire farm. So like I said earlier, this is the perimeter of the farm as well as an internal grid for moving cattle from like paddock to paddock or field to field. We are planning to do rotational grazing, and we are partnering with our state agency, the Soil and Water Conservation Program. We have grants that we've applied for that will help us cover the cost of this extensive project. Without that, there's no way we could do this. Earlier this year, maybe about 3 months back, we hired somebody to forestry mulch the perimeter of the property so we could extend our perimeter fencing to the edges of the property, giving the livestock more grazing area. So a forestry mulching machine will basically take down trees and turn it into wood chips, and then you have these paths here that you can easily walk, and we can easily take equipment and bring it through and put in fencing. Our neighbor and friend whose Black Angus are in our fields, he is helping us do the perimeter fencing, installing it, as well as he'll help us do the internal fencing. And the fencing that Daniel chose to go with is woven wire. This gives us the most flexibility if ever we want to have more than just cattle on the fields. As we now have 2 goats, if we wanted to have goats in the field, you would have to have woven wire. Basically, no other fencing would keep goats in. And because we're talking about potentially having goats, we are going to have hot wire, which is electric shock, on the top of the fencing to keep the goats off. So we're extremely excited about that. This is breaking ground hopefully in the next month or so. We're going to start putting in the perimeter fencing, and by 2026 we hope to have the internal fencing done, and that includes a new well and water access in each paddock for all of our animals. So excited to share with you that process. All right, our neighbor's here to help us move our mobile chicken coop into the goat area. All right, Daniel is getting the mobile chicken coop like level, not exactly level. He's getting it so it doesn't rock around when the goats go inside it. He's setting up some cinder blocks underneath, and then he's got some wood shavings here that we're gonna put inside so they have some nice dry warm bedding, and hopefully the goats enjoy this and use it and stay warm, because we've definitely noticed that they're pretty cold whenever there's a storm, or like last night it dropped down to 37 degrees and they were pretty chilly all day. Yeah, Daniel put the door facing the cow pastures that way, so hopefully with the storms that we get, they get less rain and wind coming in. Okay, here's their new house. Was our mobile chicken coop. Daniel took out the roosting bars, so now it's just an open space. We're thinking we're going to use this as their door in and out. We never did put shutters on these windows, and that might wind up happening just to help keep any heat that is in here, trapped in here.
Still need plastic.
What do you think, Glen Coco? You like your new room? Now that the goat's house has been moved, we are going to move the fireplace and get the chimney cleaned out. So here's Daniel and our wonderful neighbor giving us a hand with the fireplace. We have little plastic cutting board that we put under the feet of the fireplace so we can scoot it without scratching the tiles here. You have to unscrew the chimney pipe from the neck of the stove here. Inside the pipe of the chimney that goes to the wall, there was creosote. It was very built up. The guys were actually laughing at how much there was. And so then a shop vac will grab all that, and my neighbor went up on the roof with a chimney sweep and swept the chimney to get any creosote buildup off the sides of the chimney. But in the evenings it's still cold. It's still down in the 30s. So we are bundled up while we're inside and not quite using the fireplace yet, but it probably won't be too long, especially as we have some other guests coming to the farm that we're hosting, and we want it to be cozy for them. Hey y'all, I just want to give you an update on our cows. They have not calved yet. However, we have named both of them. One is named Miss Piggy and one is Shiloh. Shiloh, she is looking more plump than Miss Piggy. We're very confident that she's carrying a calf, whereas Miss Piggy, we're wondering if she potentially miscarried in the stress of being transported to our farm, as she would have been earlier along in her pregnancy than we had thought. So we will keep you posted, but both the cows are looking healthy and happy and really enjoying all the grass and the other cows around them. Also, I want to give you an update on our friends who were in a car accident. One of the people who were injured, they have been discharged and are out of the hospital. The other one, earlier this week, was discharged from ICU and is now in a rehabilitation center. And hopefully at the beginning of November, they're going to be able to make their way back to California. So thank you everyone for the prayers over our friends, and I hope you all are well.